I'm not sure which project I'm going to start on here today. Two things I'd like to do. I'd like to hard face on these teeth, the edges of the bucket, floor of the bucket, bottom of the bucket. I'd like to do a lot of hard facing on here. Another thing I really would like to do is make a butter bar that goes across the teeth. Would really be nice for when we're working on tile line and that, to just be able to scrape ground away and expose tile without hooking it as easily. So a lot of guys will just weld steel plate across the teeth and that works great, but I want to be able to switch this bucket back and forth. So my thought is I make a steel plate that goes across, that has kind of a channel shape to it so it hooks on the teeth and then bolts onto the bucket somehow, so I can put it on and use it, but then a couple bolts and a pry bar, take it off and use it as a digging bucket. So realistically I should probably hard surface the teeth first before I make the butter bar, so I get it to fit on there properly, but we will see what happens and which direction I decide to go on it. So we do have some thicker steel here. This piece here would be a good piece to use for that. I'll just have to cut it down to size, but it doesn't need to be anything too extreme. Yeah, it'll get used a little bit, but it's just a couple hours a year. It's not going to be its full-time job, so we'll see how it works out here. So the plan, I think, is going to be, these two teeth are welded on already. These ones are fairly snug on there. This one almost fell off on me the other day. That pin started coming out. I think I might weld this guy on to start with. Weld that one solid, and then I can hard face it, and then I can get that butter bar to fit on. I don't know if these are go like this or not. Does not appear so. Guess I do that. If I put it on that way, it's got a sharper corner. I think I might do that. Flip that one like that. Now it's got a little sharper corner. Either way, I'll weld top and bottom, or at least get this now. Flip it over. Weld the bottom later. And yeah, maybe hard face these teeth up a bit, and then work on that butter bar. I just want to say I am not a professional welder. I learned the basics of welding when I was very young and have just kind of worked on it, try to do my best through all of it. So as you see me do things, I'm sure you're going to have some things to say. That's fine, whatever. I don't claim to be an expert. I just try to get the job done. So do my best, and see what happens. Well, that wasn't pretty, but we got the tooth welded on now, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and grab this hard facing rod. This is hard face buildup. So evidently if you have a strictly hard face rod, you're only supposed to put 1 or 2 layers of it on because it gets too hard, too brittle. This is buildup, so I don't really see a maximum number of layers. So my thought is if I can put 2 or 3 layers on, we'll see what it looks like and go from there. But build up the teeth a little bit to start with and see how that goes. I don't know. I tried welding with the 7018 and I guess I am not a good welder at all. I had a hell of a time getting an arc, so I just used 6011. That worked a lot better. I'm guessing this doesn't weld very well though. But I'll get it set up and try to burn a few teeth and see what it looks like. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna have edited this video up till now, but I have been struggling mightily with trying to get this hard face rod to work. Seems like I gotta turn it up pretty hot to get it to make any type of a weld, and then it seems like it's too hot for the weld and it burns the rod too quick. So I've been messing with it a bunch. I will most likely will have edited a substantial part of that out to prevent me looking like too much of a fool. But I just ate my lunch, so maybe I'm a little more patient now, and I will get back at it. So maybe I'll make some progress now. So I switched from just AC to DC reverse polarity, and it works a lot better now, so I'm glad I tried that. Now we're actually welding. Not the prettiest, but at least it's putting something down. So I'm gonna work in between the teeth there for a little bit till I get it a little bit more figured out, and then I'll go on the wear teeth. Well, it's maybe not the world's best weld, but it's my best hard facing weld so far. In between the teeth there, that one looks pretty good. I laid one up on there a little farther and then one right on the cutting edge. So I got one more to do in between the teeth here, and then by then hopefully I've got it dialed in a little better, and then I can get to work on the teeth. Be a dentist, if you will. All right, again, I'm not going to claim perfection, but its job is to take the wear instead of the bucket, so I'm going to call that good enough. And now I'm going to move on to, I don't know, I'm either going to do down these sides here or do the teeth. The teeth is what I really want to get done so I can make the butter bar. This here just seems like a lot easier and more rewarding to get done, so we will see. I will try the teeth, hopefully it goes well, then I'll work on those. If not, I might just take a victory and do some easy stuff while I can, at least get something accomplished. I've already beaten my head against the wall for about an hour and a half trying to weld on AC instead of, yeah, I went to DC electrode positive and then went to 125. That's as high as this goes. I wish I could go higher. It would definitely weld better higher. I think I'm not melting in as much as I'd like to, but from what I hear with the hard facing, as long as you get it adhered, you don't need to pull it in too deep because you want it to sit up on the surface so that it sticks up and does its job. Yeah, it's definitely not award-winning welding, but we got some on there. So you got the top and the point. I might come back and do a little more on this one because I don't know if you can see that, but that one's in a ½ inch or so. So I may just put another layer on there, and then yeah, I want to do up on these shanks eventually, but for right now, main thing I want to do is get that done. I decided, as long as I had the bucket sitting inside and on the wheel where it was easier to weld on, I would just do a little bit of build-up on the edges of the bucket with the 7018, and that way later when I get a chance to take the bucket outside and use the hard face rod, I could put a cap on. The nice thing about doing build-up is even if it doesn't look perfect, you're probably going to cover it up with something else, and it's all going to get worn off anyway. Well, slight new plan here. I am going to try to grab this bucket with the skid loader and take it and set it just outside that window. The cable should reach out there. Built up this area here a bit with the 7018. It's built it up a little bit, but it seems like that build-up hard face rod really builds it up faster. But that stuff is quite nasty to be welding inside with, even though I was ventilating it yesterday when I was welding in here. I'm going to grab this bucket, set it just outside that window, and then I can go out there and weld outside. It's nice and a nice breeze out there, so I should be able to get positioned sideways and let the fumes blow away from me rather than breathing them all in. So that's what I'm going to attempt now. Since I have decided to move my welding operation outside, it has decided to start snowing. So it makes it really easy to tell which direction the wind is from. I'm going to get this bucket spun around and hopefully get some weld on it before I'm in a snowdrift or frozen. I think this should work here, how I'm set up. Hopefully. I have this really bad habit of thinking I have good ideas and then realizing they're just giant pains in the asses and I shouldn't have tried it in the first place. But hopefully now that I can do this hard facing outside, all them fumes will just blow on down the road, and should work fairly simple. Making a little progress, but if I had $1 for every good looking weld I made with this hard facing rod, I still wouldn't have a nickel. Hey, I think I might have earned my first dollar. It ain't perfect, but it's getting there. And the fact that it's getting better means I'm going in the right direction. Never going to be an expert on something when you start it. Otherwise it wouldn't be that satisfying when you do get good at it. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this, hopefully slowly improving, and it'll be like a brand new bucket by the end of the day. That's gonna be all the hard facing for today. I can't see it now, but I got both edges right here, a good layer on there, and then yeah, all the points have the point, and up on top of them a little bit, and then in between each shank on the front lip of the bucket has got 2 beads, and then up on top of the shank has 1 to 2 to 3 beads on it. So I think that'll do us for now. Take it back inside and work on that butter bar for a little bit now. All that stuff should be cooled down. Maybe I can get that thing fairly finished up right away.